Yo guys, what's up? My name is William Velasquez and this is a story of how I went from broke, high school pothead, borrowing money from my family to becoming the CEO of a jewelry brand that just hit 1 million orders in only 8 years. And quick disclaimer before I say anything, I didn't know we would be here, bro. I started this brand when I was 17 and literally I was just trying to escape my current life situation. I didn't know that 8 years later we would hit 1 million orders, and that number is honestly insane and I'm so thankful for it. But honestly, that number doesn't even mean anything to me. It doesn't make me proud. It's what that number represents is what means something to me, because that means that we've been able to bless and give my close friends and family jobs and careers that they love, and give millions of kids just like me a sense of belonging. That's what true success looks like to me, and that's why I'm making this video, to share my story with you. To give you some context, growing up, I saw my family get evicted, my dad wasn't around all the time, and at 16 my license got suspended. I felt like the biggest alive before my life even really started. But now I found my purpose and wake up every day doing what I love. With over 30 full-time employees, which are my close family and friends, we have our own warehouse in Utah now, and we just hit 1 million orders. If you don't know us already and you're thinking, what the fuck is hard jewelry? Let me tell you our mission. It's to defeat soft jewelry, aka 90% of all the cheap jewelry sold today. The stuff that turns your skin green and makes the huzz run away. So how do we do that? By creating the hardest jewelry in the world. Our goal is to make high quality jewelry accessible to everyone. I know it's like an ambitious goal, but I believe we can do it. I believe we can change how the world thinks about jewelry. Just give me like 10 more years, bro. Trust me. And by the way, I don't like making videos like this. This is actually my first time ever doing this, because some people may get the wrong idea about me when they hear numbers and all this stuff. We invest every dollar back into our brand, our team, and our future. I pay myself around $70,000 a year for the past few years, and I'm grateful for that, by the way, guys. I'm genuinely so grateful for that. That's amazing, and I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to like lay it out before I even tell you guys my story, what our intentions are. I want my brand, Hard Jewelry, to become one of the best jewelry brands in the world, because why not? If we're gonna make a business, why not make it the best, and why not give people the best possible product? You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that we can do something different, and that means doing whatever we need to do to make it successful, reinvesting every dollar. We want to open up a retail one day, you know what I'm saying? We want to give crazy freebies. If you know us, like, you know we go crazy with the freebies, and that's what we do. That's our mission. Become number one. But right now, I want to take you back to where it all started. Before the brand, before my girlfriend, before everything. Back to when I was just a kid who loved making things. As a kid, I always had a dream of being on Disney Channel one day. I wanted to be an actor, and I remember asking my mom to take me to auditions one day, and I was like 6 or 7, and she did. And I remember being so nervous that I bailed out and told her we gotta dip. Like, I was so nervous and I bailed, bro. I always knew that I wanted to be on camera and just connect with people, like make people laugh. I think it's because I'm the youngest kid, and that's how I kind of got validation when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's older than me. How am I gonna get attention, bro? I gotta make them laugh. And I was always obsessed with like creating shit. When I was maybe like 8 years old, I wanted to be a claymation artist. I remember that's what I did for career day. I brought my Godzilla clay pieces to school. I remember like sweating before I went up, and I like showing like Godzilla and like Mothra and all that stuff, and I was like, dude, like they were dressing up as doctors, and I'm like, bro, like who wants to be a claymation artist, bro? Like, how does that, you know? But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create something. Also, growing up, my dad was a huge influence in my life. He was a real estate agent. He would come home every day dressed up in his suit, and that was just like my biggest idol. Like, he was like Superman to me. Like, I would see my dad walk in, like I'm so small, he's so tall, he's wearing a suit. Sometimes he'd bring home checks for like thousands of dollars, and I'd ask him like, can I see your checks today? Like, I don't even know why. And now that he told me years later, he was like, I actually showed that to you because like your mom and I discussed it. Is this healthy to show our kid like how much money we're making? And he's like, yes, because when I was a kid, that was always like hidden and I didn't know it was possible. So my dad was like showing me checks of like success from a young age, just because he thought it was important to be transparent and just show me like subconsciously that this is possible. And I remember I used to be like, so like, Dad, you made $5,000. I thought that was like $1 million back then, bro. My dad was like, no way. And just so much happiness. I don't know why. Like, you know, when you're a kid, like, you just that safety, you know? And my dad wasn't bragging. He was just like, yeah. So we lived pretty good for like a few years, bro. And you might hear a little bit more about my dad in this story, because like he wasn't always this super successful guy. He's human, and I think that's where I get my vulnerability from. He's my favorite guy in the world, and so, you know, if you're watching this, Dad, I love you. I don't think my dad's a bad person, and we all go through shit sometimes, you know? And so after the 2008 stock market crash, his life got cooked, bro. Like, we had to move because we lived in a nice house for a few years. He lived above his means. He told me that he was trying to impress some homies, right? right? Like living with the Jones, I forgot what it's called, where you try to impress your neighbors. Like that was him, bro. He was an insecure guy too, just like we all are sometimes. The stock market crashed because of the housing market, and so we moved into a different house. And around 2012, he got into e-commerce, which is basically like selling stuff online. And I remember, bro, like he was like my best friend. So like I was just always around my dad, and he would be on the computer like making t-shirt designs and like posting them on Facebook and like making money. And I was like, that's cool. I was like, what are you doing? And I just always ask him questions. And he's like, oh, I mock it up, I send it to a screen printer, they print it, and then they ship it, and I just run ads for it. And I was like, huh, that sounds pretty boring, because he was like selling like nurse shirts, football shirts, and like all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But I was like, that's cool though. Like you don't gotta stand up, you don't gotta do nothing. I think I asked him too, I was like, why don't you make some stuff that you like though? I was like, Dad, like are you really into like football coach shirts, like, or it's like those trend shirts, right? It's like keep calm, those keep calm shirts and game on, like keep calm, and like it didn't have the cringiest word. Like he was selling those and he was running it up, bro. He started making more money, you know what I'm saying? I think this had such a big impact on my life too, because I saw someone go from like a traditional job like a real estate agent to something more unpredictable like an entrepreneur. And so I think seeing that shift kind of just let me know like, oh, like anything can happen at any point, and really you're all you got sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because if the stock market goes one way and your job is tied to that, like you might be cooked, bro. So maybe now that I think about it, that played a subconscious part. And to be honest, this is actually a big part of the story, because this is when a light bulb went off in my head, just thinking like, damn, I could do shit online. Because guys, this was like before Instagram, this was before Snapchat, this was before like all this internet shit. This was like Facebook, peak Facebook shit, you know what I'm saying? But it just showed me like, hey, anything's possible. So fast forward to when I was around 15, 16, and I had no job. This is the time you want to get a car. This is the time you want to stop asking people for money. This is the time where you really want to start impressing the girls, you know what I'm saying? The boys, the theys, the thems, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought independence was like having your own financial sufficiency, you know what I'm saying? During this time, I remember going to places like Jamba Juice, applying online like so many times, and then going in person, and then them looking at me crazy, being like, yo, if we want you, would reply on the thing, you know what I'm saying? We're not hiring right now. And I was like, oh, you sure? Like I could really change shit. I could really snap, you know what I'm saying? I was really putting all my self-worth into finding a job, which like in hindsight, that's not a bad thing, but I feel like that is. And I feel like that's what I want to tell you. That's what I would tell 15-year-old, 16-year-old me, is like your worth is not tied up in what the your finances are, what job you have, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember thinking like, if I get a job at Jamba Juice, like I'm so lit, you know what I'm saying? But now that I think about it, it's like, honestly, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't determine your worth. Obviously we all need jobs, right? But I really felt so discouraged after Jamba Juice. I applied to a few jobs and I all got rejected. And I just remember like my self-worth just feeling like so low. And I remember I drove to Jamba Juice and it was like 9 p.m. at night. It was raining and I'm in a black hoodie, bro. I literally look like the hash slinging slasher in this shit. And I walk into Jamba Juice, bro, and they're closing. And I was like, hey, like I applied online. I was just wondering, I really think like, you know, I would be a great fit here. And I just remember they didn't say anything to me. They were just like, and I just felt so below them, you know what I'm saying? I just remember that feeling. I was like, oh, like I felt like, you know, it's such a vulnerable spot. And they were like, no, we're not hiring, sorry. And I think this like sting of rejections like planted a seed in me, thinking like, okay, you know what? Everyone else, I think I got to figure something out by myself. And around this time, things got worse at home. Like my dad was like, this was like when he started going through his depression and he just wasn't around all the time. You know what I mean? Like whether it's midlife crisis, I think he got in with the wrong friends. He just, you know what I'm saying? He just got caught up in the sauce. I didn't notice at the time, but I think this really messed me up because like my dad was like a source of like safety and security for like my whole family and me. I didn't really know that until he was gone. And like I just felt like constantly like insecure, like constantly unsafe, just like constantly unsure about the future for like my whole family. And it really fucked with me. And it wasn't dramatic, like one day he was just gone. It was just like slowly every month he was just there less and less until the point where he was gone for weeks and then months. My family was already struggling financially and mentally, and him being gone was like the foundation finally cracking apart. And my mom at the time had a 3-year-old baby, which is my sister Isabella. Shout out Bella if you're watching this in the future, I love you. But she was like breaking under the pressure. Like it's obviously super hard because at this point she's kind of like a single mom. She's also probably feeling the same things I'm feeling, but even worse, right? Like that's your husband. Just like imagine the husband that's been with you for like 20 years, right? Just starts doing this with a baby. Like it's very tough. And these moments accumulated to me just feeling like I had to grow up so fast. If my own family like couldn't save me, like I had to do it and do it for my family. Like there was no other option. I felt like the dreamer in me got replaced by a survivor. And at this point, I feel like I had to figure everything out by myself or I was gonna die. Like, I don't know, like some of you may know what I'm talking about, but that's how it felt. felt. And this was the real emotional turning point before the hustling started to begin and me selling stuff. So at this point, my dad left, money's tight in the household, and suddenly all these dreams of being creative and being excited for like after high school and college instantly became, how do I survive? What does the next 6 months look like? I can't even think about the next 2 weeks at this point. And this is when I started trying to figure out, what can I do to make money? So during this time, I got my license and I had no money at the time, but my brother had a job. He was 17 at the time working at a nursing home, and he had a $2,000 car and it was lit. And during this time, I had a girlfriend and we went to go see Mac Miller. We pre-gamed before, left the bottles in the car. I got pulled over, dropping her off at like 3 in the morning, and I got my license suspended. And at this point, bruh, I was just being like selfish. Like I just did not give a anymore. Like my actions, when I say high school pothead, like I was genuinely like smoking weed every day, drinking every weekend with my friends, and doing shit that I just shouldn't. I was so dumb that I would pregame before I drove to a party. Like I would drink like 3 shots and then drive. That's your CEO, bro. And I'm not proud of this. I'm really not. I'm just trying to paint a picture to you guys of like losing my license was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me genuinely. At the time, I'm insecure at this point. I'm like, I care what people think about me. My license got suspended. I gotta tell the girl that I've been dating for 1 month, my license got suspended because I dropped her off, got pulled over, license suspended, because Utah has a law, it's called not a drop. And that means if you have 1 drop of alcohol in your system, your license gets automatically suspended for a year. I didn't get it at the time. I was like, Utah, but honestly, very smart. That made me never want to do anything like that again. You know what I'm saying? I had to go to rehab. We're actually right across from the street of the youth court district that I had to go to and do classes at when I got my license suspended. Crazy, 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 bro, how life works. But yeah, so at this point, I was insecure. I didn't even tell her for like a month, because it like takes a month, because you got to go to court twice. You know what I'm saying? You got to appeal. And so I just remember being like the insecure, just not even telling her, just thinking like being so embarrassed to be like, yeah, remember when I dropped you off? Like I actually got pulled over, my license suspended for a year. Like that to me was like, I just couldn't even do that. I remember I was like super depressed and I was like, I have to do something. So I started selling vintage online for the next 6 to 8 months. I was going to the thrift stores and reselling vintage on eBay and Etsy. And again, I learned it from my dad. I was like, this is cool. I saw him sell shit on eBay like back when I was like 8 years old. I'm like, let me try it, bro. Like vintage is cool right now. This is like 2016, 2015. You know what I mean? I'm not making a lot of money, but I'm making sales. I'm getting good reviews on Etsy and eBay. You know what I'm saying? I feel good about myself. This is when I started finding my purpose. I was like, ooh, I love clothes. I love fashion. I love vintage. I love selling stuff. Like it's a good feeling when like you pick something, you curate it, and you take a good photo and you sell it. It's like, I did that. You know what I'm saying? I started finding some independence in my life, some like security somewhat. Also during this time when my license was suspended, it literally forced me to not go places. That was like the worst part about it, was like friends are hanging out and I got to be the one that asked for a ride for no other reason than I'm a dumbass, and like insecure me wouldn't even ask for a ride because I'm like, I already asked for one like 2 days ago. You know what I mean? Like that's how much I cared about how much people thought about me at this point. And so it just forced me to lock the in. I would just stay home, ask my brother for rides. I would take my bike, go drive to the thrift store, find anything. Even if I could make like $5 off of something, $10 off of something, I would do it. So my license was suspended when I was 16. So fast forward to when I was 17 and I finally get my license back. It literally felt like I just got out of jail. Like hopefully I never go to jail and understand what it feels like to get out, but it felt like my first day out, bro. So what I did was ask my grandma for a loan, bro. And if you know my grandma and my family, like you don't do this unless you need it. And in my selfish head, I was like, I need a car because I just went a year without one and I'm embarrassed and I want to start just driving everywhere again, right? Boom. She loves me, bro. She's like the most amazing person in the world, and she's not wealthy at all. This is just pure love and belief, and I make a promise to her that I'll pay her back as fast as possible, you know, hopefully within the first year. So I borrow $2,000 from her in cash. She meets up with me, she gives it to me, find a car, a Subaru for like $1,400, silver Subaru. I learn how to drive stick shift. So 2 weeks later, everything collapses because one day I'm driving to school, I'm a little high, I smoked a bowl, and as I'm turning into the parking lot, there's this big ass truck, and I'm in a small Subaru by the way, and it just hits me like 30 miles an hour, like right next to our parking lot. Boom. My car goes flying to the side of the road. I think I even end up on the grass and some shit. So you could imagine, if you know what that feels like, I'm like depressed, bro. I don't know any other way to pay. Like peak consciousness right now, fully aware that I just totaled my car that I asked my grandma to borrow money for, and this was right in front of the school parking lot, and I was insecure and I cared what people thought about me at the time, and everybody I knew was just walking back to lunch, going back to school, like looking at me, you know what I'm saying? And I just remember just being so embarrassed, but like also being like so upset, like what the f just happened, bro? I know I was high, but I swear it wasn't my fault, okay? And that was the part that like, but who cares, bro? Like, who cares? That's what life is. Like, life isn't fair, you know what I'm saying? And this day really sucks, because when I got hit, it was pretty hard. The cops came, and I remember they went to that truck and asked them like, hey, what happened? They were there talking to them for like 10 minutes, and then they came to my car and was like, yo, you gotta move your car soon. I was like, do you want to know what happened though? Like, wait, like, what did you guys just talk about? You know? And he's like, yeah, like they told me what happened. I was like, wait, like you didn't talk to me though, you know what I mean? And he was just like, yo, you gotta move your car. And then I was like, do you know how I could do that? Do you know a company? He's like, yeah, I could call one for you, but you'd have to pay for it and stuff. I was like, okay, cool. I'll figure it out. He leaves, and I remember I was just like crying in that car, totaled, looking at it, not knowing what to do. I remember like thinking to call my dad. I was like, he's not gonna come, and my brothers were at work and stuff, and so I called my best friend Nick, and he came and picked me up. And yeah, after that I was depressed. I went into like a 2-week depression. I didn't go to school for like 2 weeks. At this point, this felt like rock bottom. This moment changed me because I felt like I didn't give a what people thought about me anymore. Like, after going through all of this shit that I've been going through at this point, I was like, I don't give a anymore. It's like exposure therapy, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're just embarrassed so many times, like when you just like yourself over so many times, like I'm just doing so many stupid things, putting myself in like dumb positions to where I'm just embarrassed. Like I'm being selfish, you know what I'm saying? And I could have gone one way where like, you know, I get worse or better, and I was just like, I don't what people think about me, I'm gonna try to make my life better. Like, this felt like rock bottom. And I think the thing that felt the worst at this moment was like letting my grandma down. And by the way, she didn't care about the car. She never did. You know what I'm saying? She cared about me, but I knew that I let her down. Regardless of what she said or felt, I was like, holy I'm literally like the worst grandkid. I'm the worst son. I'm just like the worst person at this moment. I feel like the biggest up alive. But I made a decision. During my 2-week depression at home, laying in bed, I just realized I was going to make things right. I thought of all the options. I could go get a normal job. I could quit selling vintage. But I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do to pay my grandma back, but I'm just going to start and continue selling vintage, bro. I had no job, you know what I'm saying? At this point, I maybe had like $800 because I would spend my money on weed, bro. I am not turning my life around at this point. I'm still an ignorant, selfish 17-year-old kid right now at this point. One day my friend came up to me and we were smoking a cigarette. We like skipped the class and we were smoking cigarettes and we were talking about what we want to do, like what we want to like do in our futures. I was basically telling him that I'm selling vintage, and he was like, oh, I want to start selling stuff too, bro. He's like, have you heard about this website called wish.com? And if you don't know what wish.com is, bro, that's like the epitome of soft jewelry. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like Alibaba, that's wish.com. That's like where you get like legit penny jewelry made. Like, that's where you legit get soft jewelry. But I was like, no, what is that? And then he showed me it, and I remember, bro, seeing all the soft jewelry on there and being like, what the f? Like, some of this shit looks tough. What's it made out of? And it didn't say the material, but I was like, yo, this is sick, bro. Like, I was like never into jewelry, but I remember like not ever finding jewelry that I liked at the time. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, like this kind of looks tough. Maybe I could sell this. Maybe I could like do something with it. You know what I mean? Because I had an Etsy account. And so I bought the jewelry that day, and I was like, I told him, I was like, I'll see you in like a couple weeks, bro. I'll see you in a couple weeks when it gets delivered. And I remember when it got delivered, I was smoking weed with my friend downstairs. We were playing League of Legends, and it got delivered, and I was like, wait, like, let me open this. And then like I remember smelling it. I was like okay, like this it's like, it's soft, but it's kind of tough, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, what's the material, bro? And I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's kind of tough though. And dude, like me back then, I was just trying to hustle, bro. This story's so funny because now that I think about it, my story started by selling soft jewelry. But like, honestly, bro, that's like, you know what I'm saying? It's the truth, bro. I'm not even gonna show you the piece, bro. Actually, yeah, I will. It was a Gold Supreme Uzi. And guys, this is during the clout era, okay? This is a different era now, bro. This was actually lit. I actually wore one, bro. I did this for the bag, bro. I had no money. I'm at rock bottom. I was doing this for the money. Like I told you guys, I started hard jewelry in order to survive. So I remember we got the jewelry delivered. We stopped playing League of Legends, and we went to go get my brother's camera, and then we shot it in my basement, and we took some fire photos, bro. I'll try to like pin it like right here. And then I remember I listed it on my Etsy because someone else was selling it for like 36 bucks, bro. I list mine for like $20, and I get 2 sales in 30 minutes. My life honestly changed after that. I was like, yo, is the jewelry world down this bad where you can just buy some for like $1 and sell it for 20 right now. And then I like even researched other jewelry brands. I was like so interested. I'm like, why is it this way? All the jewelry looked like that back then. You know what I'm saying? Or you had to go to Louis Vuitton, Cartier, Chanel, and just get some like really, because they honestly got beautiful stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even Chrome Hearts, they got beautiful stuff. But there's no like affordable good option. There was none, bro. This is 2017. You know what I'm saying? This is like Playboy Cardi, Lil Pump, Clout era. At that point, I literally stopped selling vintage and I tried selling the rest of that inventory, and I think I did. And it lit up a fire inside of me. Later, I started my Instagram. I remember I was in bed with my mom and my sister. We were like watching a movie, and I remember it. I turned the page Hard Vintage into Hard_ Jewelry because I was like, yo, like I'm gonna be a jewelry brand, bro. Like I could change the world with this. I was so excited when I started the jewelry brand because like literally guys, when I tell you there was nobody else doing this, there just wasn't. There actually was, and there actually are ops because they actually ended up stealing some of our designs over the next couple years. The same people who started out at the same time as us, it's bro, because like we're all starting out. Like I get it, if someone copies me now, like go for it. But bro, like when we're just starting out and we're equals, bro, like are you stealing our gang? And fun fact, they actually DM'd us a few years ago and they sent us a long paragraph being like, yo, sorry we did that, you know, I regret it, you know, blah blah blah, I just didn't know, blah blah blah. And then I remember I hit him back with a response and was like, I appreciate you saying this, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I don't think there's a world where we're like ever gonna communicate. But I was like, I appreciate you and thanks for reaching out. And I always thought like, if this is what selling low quality jewelry is, imagine when we drop high quality jewelry. And that was always the vision, bro, was like, I found this as like my way to literally fund my next creative projects. I was like, okay, if we just do enough of this, we can then make our own shit. And that's what we did. And I want to take you guys on a little story of the most impactful advice that I ever got from my dad, which helped me really create a successful business. Because during this time, he was gone a lot of the time, but he would come stay at our house for like a few days out of the week or out of the month sometimes. And it wasn't even really like this special thing. It was kind of like this awkward thing where it's like, oh shit, like, I don't know, he's here. But I would talk to him when he was there, obviously, and I would ask him for advice because he's a business guy and I'm trying to run a business selling soft jewelry at the time. And I remember I spent literally a whole month promoting this new jewelry piece that I thought was gonna be fire, and when I dropped it, we sold I think one piece in 3 hours, and I spent about $1,000 promoting it for the past like 30 days. I even drove to California, thought I was slick, you know what I'm saying, get some promo, do some photo shoots out there, boom, nothing. Wasted like damn near $2,000 on promoting a product that didn't sell. And I thought I was cooked, bro. Like deadass, like all the ego, all the confidence that I had, thinking like, dang, I finally found my purpose, bro. Like boom, it all came crashing down. And so I went to my dad and I talked to him. I was like, yo dad, and I just told him everything. I spent $2,000 on this rollout, this piece, it didn't sell well. And I told him that I did sell a piece, my first piece, and it sold really well and blah, blah, blah. And he told me, he's like, wait, run that back? He's like, you had a piece that was selling like this, and then you spend $2,000 in a month of your time promoting a piece you didn't know that was gonna work in front of people, like shoving it down their throats. I was like, yeah. That's what I did. He's like, okay. He's like, do you see how that sounds? And then I had my objections, but I don't want to just post the same design. People have already seen it before. I don't want to annoy them. And he's like, Will, how much do you care when someone posts on Instagram? Like, he's like, how quick do you think people swipe away from your shit and forget about it? He's like, I think 2 seconds max. I was like, yeah, you're right. And he's like, and how many new followers have you gotten in the past month? And I was like, 1,000. And I had like 3,000 followers at the time. So he was like, okay, so you're saying 30% of your followers haven't even seen it, and it's like the best selling piece that you have. He's like, post that. So I was like, okay. And then I remember like I got all the posts ready and I did that, and then boom, I posted it. Bro, we sold like 20 pieces, bro. And I was like, damn. And this opened my eyes, bro, of like what entrepreneurship really was, which is like giving the people what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like listening to the people, for the people, because they're the ones who are gonna be using it, wearing it, feeling confident in it. So like the design process gotta be with them in mind. You know what I'm saying? And in this moment, when my dad gave me that advice, I realized that I was creating for myself and not the audience in this moment. I was being a selfish making something that I thought was sick for me that like had nothing to do with anyone. In no way was I thinking about the people who were gonna buy this, and this was the biggest like slap in the face, being like, hey buddy, people matter, the audience is everything. And then after that, I felt like things were going right. I started selling the piece that was selling well. It was a Playboy pendant. That was the piece that was selling well. And then I dropped an upside down Playboy pendant because like Cardi got like an upside down Playboy tattoo, and I was like, ooh. And that was like most of our audience was Playboy Cardi supporters. I was honestly riding meat when I was like during this time, bro. So I've been selling soft jewelry for some time at this point, and I started throwing in some of our original designs. You know what I'm saying? Like our butterfly pendant, we designed that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I got inspired by Playboy Cardi's neck tattoo, you know what I'm saying? We were still designing our own shit. I was reaching out to manufacturers in Canada, in the US, New York, and I was just trying to see like how the fuck do we make high quality jewelry, you know? Because I was ordering it from wish.com. I didn't know the suppliers. I didn't know how to get a supplier or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? So I was literally doing it from scratch. Now I want to tell you about the first couple homies who joined Hard Jewelry at first. It was my homie Nick, bro. We were just smoking weed, playing League of Legends. I felt guilty, bro, trying to climb out of silver and knowing that we had like customers emailing us being like, hey, I got the wrong order address, right? And it would just stress me out and they would pile up and I was like, I'm like, Nick, I need help. And bro, he's a homie and he's like, what the are we doing playing League right now, bro? He's like, let's do that. And that's the type of person Nick is. And so literally instead of playing League, it slowly transitioned to us just working on HJ, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't even expecting anything out of it. He's a true homie, bro, my brother. And then that progressed to where, you know, he was working a job and Hard Jewelry started to grow. He saw the potential and was like, Will, I would love to come work with you, bro. Like, you don't even gotta pay me. And I was like, damn, that's my brother, bro. I was like, I want to pay you though. Like, I can't just have you come here, leave your job, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I just want to come, like, grind. Like, I believe in this. He didn't have a phone at the time. I know that sounds crazy, right? But he didn't have a phone at the time. So I was like, look, come work with me. I'll buy you a phone right now and then I'll start paying you when I can. So I remember we took him to the store. He bought like a new iPhone and then, yeah, he just started working with me, bro. And then we started paying him like, I think $10 an hour, like a month later or something like that. And yeah, and so that was our first hire. And then we needed another person, bro. This started getting like really big where things started like getting more traction online and we needed another person, bro. So what did we do? Who's our other good friend? And then we're like, Chris, you know what I'm saying? And actually, by the way, I didn't even know Chris, bro. I remember the first time I met Chris, I went to a skate park because he's a big skater and just met him and just chopped it up and was like, yo, like we need someone to do this and that at Hard Jewelry. I think I was like, yeah, come to my parents' basement so you can see the operation so you know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's not beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit. He came and was like, yo, like let's do this, bro. Like I'd love to come join the team. And so he did, and then he became a pivotal part, you know. Chris is super organized right now. He's our media manager. And as we started selling more of our own designs, I remember one day Chris came up to me and was like, we're gonna get sued one day, like dead ass, and we gotta pay our taxes too, by the way. And I was like, Chris, could you do that, bro? Could you do that, bro? Because we got a sale coming up in 2 weeks and we got to do photo shoots. I'm gonna focus on this, you focus on that, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? He did. We set up an appointment with an accountant. It was crazy. We'd all go, you know what I'm saying? The first time I've ever talking to like tax people, and it was just great. You know what I mean? Like having the team is really what brought HJ from like just a fucking dream and chaos. Because I probably would have gotten canceled back then, bro. I probably would have been like ass pizza shipping orders late. My team saved me. The people in my life saved me. I couldn't do this alone, you know what I mean? And yeah, shout out Chris, shout out Nick, you know what I'm saying? Without them, Hard Jewelry wouldn't be here. Then eventually we hired my brother and he was the one who made HJ, you know, really take off. He's the reason why we're so community focused. He came in and was like, yo, everything we do has to be for the supporters or we don't do it. Because he's my brother, bro. He was able to see the visions and then put the love behind it, and then together that's what made Hard Jewelry, you know, because it's really hard to pull off a lot of that we do. Sometimes we give away like 40,000 jewelry trays for Black Friday. Like that's not easy to do logistically, team-wise, everything, hiring temp workers, like all this stuff. But we know that we got to get you guys the best possible shit ever, and he's the one who makes it happen since day one. You know what I'm saying? He saw the emails piling up when it was too much for Nick. He saw the orders not going out as fast as they could, you know what I'm saying, because it was only Chris. He set up systems and operations at Hard Jewelry, and that's why he's our chief of operations today. You know what I'm saying? He's our operations guy, bro. So whenever you see a pop up, whenever you see a drop, he was behind it, making sure that it goes smooth, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just the media guy, bro. Deadass, I'm just the media guy. I just work here type shit, you know what I'm saying? I just have the creative visions. I'm the one who's like, yo, we should make astrology ring table. We should make a table, bro. But by the way, he just doesn't shoot down ideas. Like he you know, he loves me. He's like, let's run it, you know? But if problems come up, he tries to help me, and he saved my ass more times than I could count, to be honest. Like I should have been canceled genuinely like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I was actually crying on the phone with him the other day, just telling him thank you, because like recording this video, I was like, Jesus, bro, I'd literally be nothing without him. He really joined the team and said, Will, I wouldn't let you sell Hard Jewelry right now for $10 million. And I heard that and I was like, I made a joke. I was like I would, right? I would do it behind your back right now, bro. Like I'd sell it, you know, because it's like I just didn't believe in it, you know what I mean? As much as he believed in myself, right? And he's like, I wouldn't let you do that. And he's like, I'm never gonna ask for a part of the company or anything. We're just gonna like go to the moon, bro. And at this point in Hard Jewelry, I was like posting memes, bro, before anyone was doing this. I was posting my face, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like brand owners still don't be doing that. It was just like the easiest form of marketing. And honestly, shout out Gary Vee, because that's where I learned it from, you know what I mean? Like just post yourself, tell the people what you're doing, and they can make a decision if they want to buy or not. We got evicted on literally like a random Tuesday. Like we just had to be out by the next day. And this was so stressful, like especially like with my 3-year-old sister at the time inside of the house and our dog and our whole family, and we didn't know where to go. So what I did was literally book an Airbnb for a week, move mine and my brother's get in there just for the time and then help my mom get situated at my grandma's house. So for the next like 2 or 3 months, I just live out of Airbnbs with my brother, and then I move into my uncle's house. This was very turbulent. It was very traumatic. At this point, this feels normal. This was just like literally another Wednesday. It's just a little bit more stressful where I have to lock in and like just help my mom, help my family, just move stuff. You know what I mean? My dad wasn't there. It was so we got evicted about 4 to 6 months into me selling soft jewelry, which is funny to say. My friends and I were like basement energy, just using my basement. It wasn't being used. We just converted it to like a mini warehouse. These were my friends, and like I would have cared before that like, oh, we're getting evicted, this is embarrassing. But at this point, they were like my homies and helped me move out. And hiring my friends was like a really big deal at the time, because imagine just only having like $3,000 in your bank account. You got to pay some of your homies. I don't know what that weekly amount is, but basically it's like percentages out of the bank account. Like 10 to 20% of the checks go to your homies, and they took a chance on us. You know what I'm saying? Like they quit their jobs to come join the team. I was very stressed at the time. You know what I'm saying? I remember one Thursday having negative like $20 in the bank account, no joke. And I remember just thinking like, what the fuck am I doing? I had to smoke a cigarette. I wish I took a screenshot, and I was just looking at my phone, and I knew we were getting like our deposit tomorrow for like $3,000 or $4,000 from like a sale that we did. And I was just like, what am I doing? I didn't feel like giving up in this moment. I'm going to remember it, because it's not always going to be like this, because we're doing something special. And it's weird being like a leader, because it's like I'm not going to be able to tell my friends that who work with me that we have no money, because usually before as friends I would just tell them that like, yo bro, like I'm stressed, you know what I'm saying? But I can't tell my team that, you know what I'm saying? They quit their jobs to come work here. After my brother joins the team, starts going right. Like we start answering all of our customer support requests. He's literally like chatting with them like they're homies. Like he's straight up putting the customer first all the time, like same hour response time. I remember we'd go out to restaurants and he'd bring his laptop to answer emails. Like we were hungry, bro, to make something great. Honestly, like hindsight, I didn't know this at the time, but like working with my brother is what would make Hard Jewelry what it is today. Like I said, he's the reason that we're so community focused. Like I know you guys see me as Will, the dope guy who loves to like give back to the community, but there's a whole team and process that makes that even possible. The reason we're able to ship fast, ship with freebies, you know what I'm saying, like make our dope products come to you like packaged with love, like all of our packages come gift wrapped, dope. It's because of our team, and my brother helps take care of that. And during this time when my brother came on board, our website's name was hardjewelrystore.com, which I didn't think was a big deal, but my dad like at this time was kind of like, you know, getting back on his feet, and he's seeing Hard Jewelry, and he kind of will give me some advice here and there. Like he's still my dad, right? I still love him. He's just going through his midlife crisis, you know what I'm saying, through his own depressional season, you know. And one day he hits me up saying like, yo, I just noticed you don't have the hardjewelry.com domain. Like you should try getting that before you continue to grow, because now we're at like maybe like 30k followers, 40k or something, you know. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do that. So I called the person who owns it, and he's like, I'll sell it to you for like $2,000, bro. I was like, yo, what the f? Like who's gonna buy that, bro? I was like, who are you to make the price, bro, when my it's Hard Jewelry, right? I'm like, okay, f that, I'm good with hardjewelrystore.com. And then I thought about it, and I was like, bro, I low-key need that. He's in a position where he don't need me. He probably has hella bread. He probably owns hella domains. I realized I needed it, bro, because I was like, you know what? If he's controlling the price and this is my brand, that's valuable. At the time, I didn't think it'd be as valuable as it was. Think about it. That's our name, bro. So I call him back 2 weeks later. I was like, I thought about it, man. I'll pay the $2,000. Let's do it. And he said, oh, you thought yesterday's price was today's price, huh? He's like, nah, it's $4,000 now, bro. I said, honestly, bro, at this moment, I wanted to freak out, and I was like, yo, I'm working with a terrorist right now, bro. I can't negotiate with a terrorist right now, bro. He's got my baby in his hands, my future. So I was like, you know what? Let me talk to my team and I'll get back to you. And he's like, yeah. And he was like, that's today's price, by the way. And as you know, yesterday's price isn't today's price. I was like, oh shit. So I talked to my team, and honestly, we're not business entrepreneurs. Like, we're basically like, yo, this guy, we don't need this shit. But I think I did something in my head was like, yo, this is gonna be a smart decision. Even though we don't have a lot of money in our bank account, even though this is like more than half of our money, this is important, you know? And I just made the decision, it, buy it, got it from him, secured it. It's probably one of the smartest things that I did at that time, because imagine, bro, like if he had that now, he's like, oh bro, 100 bands, bro. During this time, it went from like side hustle basement vibes to like startup vibes where we're like actually doing sick. It was like the first time where I really felt independent, because it was kind of weird staying in my parents' house, because I was like, I don't know, it's just like so much insecurity. But now that I'm in an Airbnb that I'm paying for with my team and we're shipping orders in the Airbnb, there was an honest fun aspect to it, I can't lie. I feel like I've been talking about nothing nothing but like in pain and trauma and suffering. But guys, like building stuff with your friends is honestly like, it's just more fun than smoking weed and playing League of Legends. That's how I'll put it, bro. Like it felt like we were actually like making a difference in our lives and in the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like we were actually like selling dope jewelry. We were selling stainless steel jewelry. Like that was our designs, and it just felt good having this motion. We were some teenagers with a dream, and for a while it worked. We were growing our following. We were building the business. We were having good customer service. We were having motion. But then life tested me again in a way that the business couldn't, bro. I gotta take a pit stop real quick and talk about my ex-girlfriend, unfortunately, bro, because at this point, I was feeling myself, you know what I'm saying? I was able to start affording Airbnbs. Our house got evicted. I'm starting to have my own place. This is like my first time really growing up. I think I'm 18 or 19 at the time. And I'm talking to this girl and we started dating for like a year or so. And I was feeling good, guys. I can't lie, bro. Like I was 19. I think she was 21 at the time. And life just kind of seems to be going good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, my mom's at my grandma's with my sisters. That's a nice home. Like I'm in an Airbnb right now. I'm staying at my girlfriend's house. We're working out of Chris and Nick's apartment now. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of out of the basement into apartment. You know what I'm saying? We up, chat. I even made a YouTube video about it. I was pretty devastated. She broke up with me. We just weren't meant to be together. You guys know how that is, right? No bad blood, no nothing. Just straight up, we should like cut this right now because this is not gonna work out down the road. Like we could keep trying to make it work, but it's just not going to. You know what I'm saying? I was sad and I kind of fell into a spiral after that of like just loneliness, guys. If you guys know one thing about me, bro, is like I love my people, bro. Like I love people. And I think it's one of the things that I beat myself up a lot about. Like I think about a lot of people in my life who I've lost and people who have been there. Even teammates I've had to let go, even of like people I've had to say goodbye to. My mom, my grandma, like I just think about people a lot. Like they're super core to me. Obviously this is like everyone, but it really affects me, you know? And this one was like, it was like my first real girlfriend. So I was like, I thought this was what love was. But then obviously it's not because it didn't work out. And I just thought I'd never find true love again, bro. That's just like genuinely how I felt in the moment. I can't explain it. You guys have probably felt that way. Some of you might be feeling that right now. Like true love doesn't exist. You guys see people boot up, you see your friends all together, they're happy, they're loving, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't think it existed after that. I was like, that wasn't true love. That doesn't even exist. And so like for the next like couple months, bro, I'm still working on hard jewelry, but I'm like trying to fill that void in me. I'm hanging out with girls I don't really like. I'm going to concerts with people I don't really know. I'm like taking shrooms every weekend. One of my favorite moments during this time actually was taking shrooms with my brother and Nick inside of our apartment. I remember I took shrooms, right? Thinking like, oh, I'm over my ex, right? It's like a month after. I take shrooms, we're watching Spaceballs, and then like a scene happens where I'm like, I just go into the closet and then I like lay down on like just the floor in a dark room on shrooms, and I'm just like thinking about my life, and I'm like, I feel so lonely right now. And so what I did was literally I called my ex, right? Haven't talked to her. I remember, and I was just like laughing and doing this, and she's like, are you good? Like what blah blah blah. And then it just hit me. I'm like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't even learn my lesson after this, bro. I kept going to concerts, you know what I'm saying? And like a pivotal moment, I went to a concert with some friends. I met up with two girls and I was hanging out with them at the concert. My arms were around them, and then they asked me for a jewel, and I'm on shrooms, right? So like my senses are heightened. I'm like, cool, right? We're all smoking jewels. I'm smoking nicotine. Boom. They do it. 10 seconds later, they ask for the jewel again. And like, I'm trying to enjoy the concert. I'm vibing, you know what I'm saying? And I think the third time they asked for a jewel, I'm like, something just hit me, whereas like it pulled me out of my high, and I was like, what the f am I doing? My friends are here that I love, that I've known since elementary. Like, I'm looking for something that I already have. I'm looking for love in literally the wrong places because I already have that in my life. And I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't receiving love from my family, my friends, you know what I'm saying, who wanted to be there for me. I was trying to fill it with external love, and that just never works out, you know what I'm saying? So after me and my ex broke up, I was staying at her house at the time, and this is when I went to my grandma's with my mom, because I was just like at a point where I was like, I just need love and support, you know what I'm saying? My grandma and my mom are my favorite people. What the f am I doing going to concerts, trying to like be around people I don't really like, you know what I mean? Like, let me go to my grandma's, which is basically like honestly the best place I could imagine right now. Like, I don't know why I didn't go there sooner. I really hate to admit this too, but like I was down bad after me and my ex broke up. Like, I remember just like feeling a void in me, and I don't know how to explain it, but like I was sleeping in my brother's room on the floor. Like, I would just feel lonely, and I just genuinely like just didn't think that I was ever gonna find like true love, you know? And I thought I was at like rock bottom. This felt like lowest of lows, you know what I'm saying? But little did I know that life was about to hit me harder than I ever could have imagined. You know, while I was at my grandma's, in the 2-month period that I was, one morning I was in my room. It was about 8 in the morning and I wake up to my dad screaming. He's in the basement. It's one of those screams where you just know something is horrifically wrong, and you guys know what I'm talking about if you've heard something like that. My mind went to the worst thing. I know my mom sleeps down there, and so I wake up and I run to the door that leads to the basement. I just know at that point something happened to my mom. I instantly knew she wasn't here anymore. He didn't even have to say it to me. Maybe he did. I don't remember too much, but in that moment I knew my mom had passed away. And the first thought that I had was, what were the last things I said to my mom? They weren't "I love you." And I don't even remember what it was exactly, but it just wasn't "I love you." And then my second thoughts right after that were, my little sister's at school right now. She's 5 years old and she's gonna have to grow up without knowing the most amazing woman in the world. How's that going to make her feel? I felt so heartbroken for my little sister because I got to experience my mom the best 20 years of my life, and other people in my life feel the same love that my mom gave to me, because it's a love so strong that I feel selfish holding on to it, you know? Same thing with my grandma. I am who I am today because of them. Everything I do today is because of them, genuinely. I started Heart Jewelry to escape a situation that I was in, and it quickly evolved into finding my purpose through connecting with people, creating things, and spreading love. And that's where I am today. So it felt like my world at this point was over. This was a very traumatic day. We had to call my brother, had to let him know. We checked my little sister out of school, let her know, something that, you know, extremely difficult things to do. And I genuinely didn't think that I was ever going to be happy again. I just remember that thought replaying in my head, just thinking, I have to live the rest of my life without the person who made life worth living. I'm trying not to make this sadder than it already is, but just telling you guys the truth. If you have a parent today, if you have a mom, if you have a grandma, if you have a dad, tell them you love them today. I felt so sad because I was like, I'm so young and I have to live the rest of my life without her. And I never expected that. You always just think that people are gonna be there forever. You always just, you know, especially your mom, right? Like, that's your rock, that's your foundation. And that thought just kept replaying in my head. I'm never gonna be happy again. And this wasn't on some, like, it was like a true thought, and it still hurts today, you know, when we hit a milestone or I do something, or Isabella goes to middle school and my mom's not there. It's just, I know every moment could be better with her, and I processed that instantly when she passed. Like, my kids are never gonna know their grandma, my little sister's never gonna go know her mom, and I thought my life was over, genuinely, for days. You know, it was really hard to accept. She was Heart Jewelry's biggest supporter. She was my best friend. She was everything. And this was around a week before my 21st birthday. And I remember my dad was trying to plan the funeral, so it didn't land on my birthday. I know that's not important. Birthdays, to this day, I don't like celebrating birthdays that much, because probably this experience, to be honest. Because at that moment, it didn't feel like anything was worth celebrating. Anything could have happened. The biggest milestone could have happened. Nothing felt worth celebrating, especially something like my birthday. And I felt guilty and sad that my family might feel like they have to make me feel better when there's nothing to feel good about at this moment, you know? I remember it was my 21st birthday and we're all staying at my brother's house, sleeping in his living room together because we're just trying to stick together as a family. And I woke up at 6, my heart just sank. I don't want to pretend to be anything other than just how I feel today. Like, it sounded like torture to have a birthday right now. And so all I could think about was this girl that I met, because I was just trying to escape my current situation and just feel better. And what made me feel better was thinking about this girl that I met at my friend's house a few weeks prior. And I remember telling my mom about this girl, and my mom told me that she was so excited to meet her one day and that I should go hang out with her. And I remember I got embarrassed. I was like, Mom, like, I just met her, you know? Like, calm down, like, chill out. Yeah, my mom just always believed in me. And I was telling my mom about her, and all I could think about was this girl, because she was just so nice, so sweet, so can't even explain the energy that she gave. The coolest girl that I've ever met. I just didn't want to exist that day. So I DM'd her on Twitter at like 7 in the morning, right? I just made a decision. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. She's probably gonna say no. Cool, at least, you know, I tried. I DM'd her at 7 and I just say, hey, today's my birthday and the only thing I can think about is hanging out with you. I know that's like a lot of pressure, but I don't want you to feel anything. I'm just letting you know, like. And she replied like 10 minutes later and she said, awesome, sounds good. I'm house sitting with a few friends if you want to come hang out today. I think in this moment, I I spent like 10 minutes thinking about this, and I don't really remember exactly, but I just remember that I was out the door 10 minutes later. I was driving. My family's they're gonna wake up and I'm just gone. I leave and I drive. I don't even think I got super ready. I think I just packed my toothbrush in my car because I just wanted to leave, right? I just wanted to escape my current situation. So I'm driving to go see her, and I don't really remember how exactly I feel, but I just remember being nervous. There's all these things going through my head. My mom just passed away. I'm gonna go hang out with this person. I don't know too much, but I think she's dope. All these things are kind of telling me like, hey, don't do this right now. Hey, this is not normal to do. Hey, your mom passed away. Why are you trying to have fun on your birthday? Like all this like guilt, shame, confusion, all these things were coming at me. But I just thought about what my mom would want from me. I just was thinking about what my mom said, you know? She would want me to just follow my heart, and that's what I was doing. I really wasn't thinking with my brain, with anything else other than my heart. I pull up to her house, and this was such an insane moment because when I meet her friends, one of her friends was actually my best friend in elementary school, and we used to hang out all the time. And this girl that I'm talking about that I went to go see was just so cool and so loving and caring and sweet and so funny and smart, charismatic, and just everything. And I think I was slowly falling in love and I didn't know it, but I just totally took my mind to a different place. Like I wasn't thinking about what's wrong in my life. I was just surrounded by love and good people. We drove through the canyon, we went on a hike, and we went through some tunnels and caves, and I just felt alive, and it felt so amazing. And guys, I try to never get ahead of myself and have expectations, you know, because they always let you down and stuff. But I genuinely was like processing. I'm like, if I never hang out with this girl again, I'm gonna be okay. Life's gonna be okay. Because at this moment, I thought I'd never be happy again. And I ended up having the best day of my life. And it was confusing, and I immersed myself in it, and I just let myself feel good. But she was proof to me of a few things: that life is worth living, amazing people do exist, and that true love exists. Because fast forward 6 years later, she's my girlfriend, who I love so much. And I think this video hits a little bit harder because today is actually my birthday, and she's in the Grand Canyon right now working with an environmental group, and she's so sad that she wasn't gonna be here for my birthday. She's just so amazing. She wrote me a letter, she stitched me a little sock monkey, and I just felt so seen with the gifts that she gave me today. And it's just got to be studied, bro. Like amazing women really have to be studied. You know, I love her so much. I feel like I've been crying ever since, you know, the past 10 minutes. But yeah, at a time where I thought true love doesn't exist, where I never thought I'll be happy again, I took a chance to go hang out with this person because my heart told me to. And then I ended up literally meeting the most amazing person in my life today. And I attribute a lot of Hard Jewelry success to her. A lot of who I am today because of her. Again, just like Hard Jewelry wouldn't be the same without my brother, I wouldn't be the same without her. Quit smoking cigarettes after meeting her. I started involving myself more in the community. I started thinking differently about the environment and everything because I wasn't thinking about this, but that's what she's passionate about. I just feel so lucky, and I feel like I don't deserve all of this, but I want to make this video to let you guys know that life rewards bold action. I think about all the amazing things that have happened in my life, and none of them happened without taking bold action. When I started Hard Jewelry, bold action, and then I found my purpose through creating jewelry and connecting with others and building a team. I loved all this, and I wake up every day so excited because I get to do this. And through taking bold action, you find your purpose, and then you get confident because my values are aligned with my purpose now. I love doing this. I love creating. I love spreading love, and I just feel so confident doing that now because before I just remember feeling so insecure, thinking, what is my life going to be? Who am I hanging out with? Am I doing the right things, you know? But through bold action, you quickly find out what works and what doesn't, and you stick with what works and you let go of what doesn't. You know what I mean? And I know it's scary to do that, but that's just the truth. That's my philosophy. That's Will's quote, you know what I'm saying? Life rewards bold action, and you find your purpose through taking bold action, and you get confident through finding your purpose, you know? You can't skip any of these steps. If you want confidence, you gotta take bold action so you find your purpose and you're living in alignment with your true values. That's why I try to live by this rule daily, and I try to take as many bold actions as I can each day, each week. In a week, we're gonna be having a warehouse sale at our warehouse, and we've never done this before, and I'm gonna be gone in China the whole time. I'm flying back for the warehouse sale, and I'm super nervous to do this because I've always been a part of every single event, planning, logistics, the layout, but I'm not doing anything this time. My team is handling it, and I trust them to death, but I'm still nervous, yo. Like, this is my baby, and this is our community we're talking about. Like, we gotta make it lit for them. But I trust that my team will do that, and I gotta go out of my comfort zone. We gotta take bold action. Maybe every year now we start doing a warehouse sale at our warehouse, you know what I mean? Maybe it might turn into a block party where it's just like super lit, where we start doing corn mazes or like Halloween pumpkin patches here because we're doing it in October, you know? Life rewards bold action. But I wanna say something right now and just commemorate my mom and my grandma, because they were the closest thing to God that I've ever experienced. They are the reason why I do what I do today, and it's my mission to spread love, you know, and I do that by giving, you know, people confidence, community, entertainment, education, whatever I can give to others. It just starts with love. Hard Jewelry is built on a belief that no matter how hard life gets, you'll always come out stronger, bro. That's why we make our jewelry so f***ing durable, you know what I'm saying? It's a testimony of our mission. Life's hard, your jewelry's gotta be hard too, bro, you know what I mean? And that's my story. Thanks for listening, guys. Stay hard.